All right then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow wastelanders. My name is Josh. Welcome to Dead Men Streaming, and I am back. I am back in Power Armor, and I'm back with the Red Terror. And apparently, I am not the only terror that is striking the wasteland today. First things first, apologize. Feeling a little bit out of it today. So if I seem really tired, it's not you, it's me. Moving on from that, speaking of it's not you, it's somebody else, Bethesda screwed up. As of the time that I am doing this video on September the 30th at, I don't know, almost 6 p.m. Eastern, this week's weekly event was supposed to be mutated public events, and I love those. So naturally, they got screwed up. Mutated public events are not spawning. Bethesda has acknowledged this, and they said that to make up for it, they're going to give us double EXP running from the 4th until the 7th, which is appreciated because it will help you level up a little bit. Sounds like something's eating me, so I'm going to check something else, but I want you to pay attention to two things on the weekly challenges: complete a mutated public event, kill a mutated enemy, and under the daily challenges, another complete a mutated public event. Because the MPEs are not spawning, that's not going to happen, and I am not going to drink that water now. Thank you, Mole Rat. All right. So, what does this mean for you? Well, they've said they're not going to enable MPEs this week. Whatever the bug is, they can't do anything about it till they patch it. They don't want to patch it till next Tuesday. Why? I don't know. I don't know. And they said they're also going to do something else with the challenges to make up for this. So in the past, they've given us an extra challenge or a double challenge or given us something the week following to make up for it. What are they going to do next? I don't know. But whatever they plan on doing, they haven't done it today. So, my advice to you, you can take this or leave it. If you see this on Tuesday, is to go ahead and roll the dice, use one of your free rerolls, and re-roll the weekly challenge, complete mutated public event. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll get an epic challenge to boost your score up even higher. Maybe you won't. I didn't. And I'm going to do the same thing over in my daily challenges. Now, this is entirely up to you. If it's not that big of a deal, just let it sit and see what they do to fix it tomorrow. For me, resetting it's not a huge issue because almost everything else on this list I can do. Now, the other thing you're going to see is kill a mutated enemy. Be like, well, Josh, we can't kill mutated enemies if we don't have, mutated public events, but you can, because mutated enemies are the enemies that you find natively, naturally, in daily ops. So, go do a daily op. Heck, this one, the daily op that cycled up today, is really not that bad. Just pull out your chainsaw, your auto axe, your ultrasight sword or whatever that is, and go to town on some cultists. Have some fun with that. Um, so you can still do that one. You just got to do a daily op instead. All right, so let's talk about this. Build defense, appliance, or crafting items in a workshop or camp. Well, it is such a good thing then that I am currently building a barn in the Toxic Valley. That's where I'm currently at right now. Build a decoration in a workshop or camp. All right, so two camp-based things this week were good. All right, collect purified water. This is the point where I'm going to remind you that weekly challenges are just that. They're designed to be done over the course of a whole week. They're not designed to be done in one session. Um, Having said that, where can you get purified water? Well, if you have the plans, you can build several different things in your camp that will do that for you and generate water. Now, you can't put this in a shelter, but let's see. Uh, some of these items will produce purified water, like the uh, Enclave water collector. Let's see what else. Most of the water things only produce dirty water. Keep scrolling through, just giving you an idea of some of these. The vintage water cooler will produce purified water, and water purifiers, of course, will also produce purified water, and there are others that will do the same. However, if you don't want to do that, completing events, looking in med boxes, hitting NPC vendors are all good ways to get purified water. Like, you'll get a fairly good and steady. Thought I heard a mole rat. You'll get a fairly. I did hear a mole rat. Where is it? You'll get a fairly good supply of purified water just existing in the world. So if you're not in a hurry to complete your weekly events, just roll with it. If you are, build a few water purifiers in a camp and call it a day. Eat a meat-based meal. All right, so shoot things that make meat like animals and then eat it. Straightforward. Craft energy ammo. Okay, so anything that's in the Tinker's workbench, it's listed as energy. There you go. A harvest a wild plant or fungi. All right, so this one is best if you use the perception perk, and that would be green thumb. So pull that one up, and let me see, DEF, green thumb. Put it on, take off something else into perception, and you're good to go. Moving on, L. Helps if I tell you where to go for that. Your best bet for fastest results. Head to Silva Homestead, go a little bit south towards Billings Homestead. There is a huge farm, sometimes guarded with super mutants, that has all of the plant life you're going to need. You can, of course, go to the General Steakhouse. Pick up a bunch back here. If you are in a cranberry state of mind for cranberry relish, cranberry cobbler, whatever, go to Sunrise Field. You will have to fight a Mirelurk Queen for that one. You can find a slew of brain fungus in the unmarked tunnels around abandoned Bogtown leading all the way down to Atoga. And you can always find a lot of flora and fauna along any of the riverbanks, including the Ohio Riverbank over here. There's just so many good places to find foodstuffs that I can't even begin to tell you all of them. You can also find some in a farm that is right about here around the Morgantown airport for some reason I don't understand. All right. Oh, and a bunch of pumpkins in the pumpkin patch around here, but keep in mind there is a fissure site and a bunch of scorched in the immediate area. And then finally, and this one is a double header, you can pick some up in Wendigo Cave. You'll find a bunch of brain fungus, you'll find a bunch of firecracker berries, and you'll also find a death claw. And I mention that because that is one of today's daily challenges. Moving on, kill a lost. Now, lost are not as available down here that you would think for this being where they're supposed to be. I find them more when I'm just walking around at random. You'll find them most at Dangerous Pastimes when it pops. I don't know if it's in circulation this week. Usually if Kill Lost comes up, this one is too. You can find a handful whenever somebody drops a nuke over here and triggers the neurological warfare event. You can find some in and outside of Dark Hollow Manor. And then down at Slumber Mill Motel, there are quite a few. About 5 to 6 on the other side of the motel near the gas station. I know there are other places through here, but I gotta be honest, I've not gotten around to completing the events on here, so I'm not 100% sure where else to find them. I know, I need to do better. Bad gamer, bad me. All right, we've already talked about how you can still kill a mutated enemy. And finally, scrap headwear. Now, headwear is a glitchy thing because not everything you put on your head counts as headwear. I don't understand why. Even things that show up in the armorer bench that say headwear, not necessarily headwear. So, my tip, go to the armorer's bench with a pile of cloth, make something, scrap it. If it counts, make 14 more of it. If it doesn't count, make something else. That's my advice to you. All right, but then the daily challenges. All right, drink tea. If you know me, you know that my favorite tea in the whole game is company tea because it is something that refills automatically. It is available in the Atom shop with the company tea machine. I'm not telling you to spend real world money. I'm telling you that when you earn atoms on the scoreboard or wherever else, if you have them to spare and the company tea machine or any device that makes tea pops up, go buy it. Company tea is great. Or while you're harvesting whatever, Just make some tea, like sweet flower tea or mutated fern tea or anything else like that, and it'll count. Collect wood. This is not the same thing as scrapping wood. You do have to collect it, look for fallen logs just about anywhere. However, having said that, your number one place to go is Sylvie and Sons logging camp. You'll have to chase off about 3 glowing mongrels, and then you've got enough wood to do just about anything with. I'm going to leave it at that. Collect a board game. Three very easy ways to do this. Number one, if you happen to have the board game cabinet camp item, it will generate these. And then that takes care of that problem, then, doesn't it? If you don't, head down and go into the White Spring Refuge. As soon as you go in, take a hard right down the main hallway, go all the way into the back, and you'll find a small game room. There are a bunch of board games in there. You can also find some board games and a bunch of other really useful scrap all the way down at Rapadam Camp. Um, a bunch of other places in the game too, but those are the quickest and the easiest places to find them. Having said that, do that challenge last. This last patch or so, they changed a lot of ways that junk drops off of creatures. And when you're doing whatever, you might actually just pick some up. It's going to go very easy. All right, kill a Deathclaw. As I mentioned, you don't have a lot of places to kill Deathclaws, and a lot of times other people are going to try to beat you to it just because of the nature of the game. Your best spots: Hopewell Cave, 1 Deathclaw spawns in there. Deathclaw Island. Surprisingly, only 1 Deathclaw there. Another great location for a Deathclaw is all the way down at Thunder Mountain Substation TM-02, directly north of Watoga, directly south of Drop Site G3, Crimson Prospect, and a little bit away from Quarry X3. Usually find a Deathclaw of some kind picking a fight with a bunch of insects. Sometimes you can find a Deathclaw in this area over here between Sunrise Field and the Fissure Site in a random encounter. And finally, if you are really desperate for a Deathclaw and you don't mind fighting your way through it, you can go all the way over to the abandoned waste dump. And this is east of the Southern Belle Motel, north of Delano Gorge, Tanangra Town, southeast of Haven Church. It is all the way over here. You go inside, you ignore the radioactive barrels, and you'll find 2 different Deathclaw matriarchs guarding their own nests. One of those will suffice. All right. Then, kill an enemy in the forest region, 0 to 5. Anything in the forest region. So keep that in mind. All right, kill Scorched. Now, this is what I drew when I re-rolled today's challenge for completed mutated public event. What you get, I don't know. I got Scorched. Lucky me, I guess. Finally, scrap junk to produce cloth. There are several really easy ways to do this, but if I were you and you're following this channel for me to tell you what to do, then I would go to your armor bench, make 15 pieces of headwear, and then scrap them because you'll get cloth from scrapping them. And since you have to scrap 15 of them, that last I checked, and I'm not a math guy, 15 pieces of cloth is more than 10 pieces of cloth. So you can actually knock out that weekly challenge at the same time you do the daily challenge if you just do it. Yeah, that's all I can say. All right. Having said that, there are some fun things in the Atom Shop today if you haven't had a chance to take a look at. Again, I'm not advocating you spend real money. I'm just telling you what's here. The Industrial Power Bundle. The thing about this whole set that I like the most, and I bought it at the cost of not being able to afford industrial pipes, is the Dig Site Dynamo Shelter Generator. And the reason why is this generator radiates power over your entire shelter. Some of the other generators will come awfully close, but not entirely. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm willing to bet this is going to save me such a massive headache in my casino shelter. Because I think my casino shelter, to run all the lights and all the other goodies I have in it, has like 10 different generators. It's ridiculous. If this thing will do it for the entire shelter, that's amazing. Because there are some very large shelters that even the 100-watt fusion, whatever, transformer looking power generator can't cover. And if this does that, that's amazing. I haven't tested it yet. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But that alone is pretty absolutely epic. The rest of the stuff, take it or leave it. Depends on what types of builds you like to build. And then we're back in the greatest hits. A bunch of decent stuff here. You can see some of the things that I've bought that I like. If I had the spare items, I'd pick up this. This is just a cool item, although what I'm trying to remember what exactly it does. It generates lead and aluminum, so that's not a bad thing if you have trouble, keeping those. Um, Brotherhood of Steel Porch is really fun. Shipping container is really fun. Generator windmill looks really cool. Deep Well, I don't have that, so I can't tell you. I do love this. And then some other goodies. All right. But, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Josh. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope in some way today was helpful. I wish I had better news or be able to tell you more about what they're doing with the challenges to make up for not having mutated public events this week. But I don't know. And if I don't know, can't tell you. I'm sorry. All that said, don't forget to give me a like, follow, and subscribe. Feel free to follow me on Twitch. I have, as of last week, made affiliate status, so I will be doing fundraisers over there for the charity that I run in the Parkersburg, West Virginia area, the area that they still haven't put in the game yet. But I live here, so I have that going for me. And I try to make the world a better place, wasteland or otherwise. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Josh. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do your part making the world a better place too, and I will see you all again next week.